Okay, so this lesson is lesson 3.1. We're on a new unit, and basically in the lesson you should be able to describe the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web and explain some hardware and software used for networking in the internet, like web pages and servers, and compare different types of mediums. So we'll first start with a little video.
The internet has changed the world in ways we could have never imagined. But what exactly is it? The internet is a global network made up of billions of computers. These computers are communicating with each other, allowing people to share information in a variety of ways. The internet operates through physical cables. Even wireless connections rely on these cables in order to access the global network. When you visit a website, your computer sends a request over the cables to a server. A server is where data, like websites, are stored, and it works a lot like your computer. Once the request arrives, the server retrieves the website and sends the correct data or information back to your computer or device. The data might be text, images, videos, you name it. For all of the amazing things it can do, issues like cyberbullying, privacy concerns, fraud, and other challenges come with the territory. It's hard to predict how any new technology will evolve. But one thing we know for sure is that the internet is here to stay. This web of connection is a powerful thing, and it will continue to transform the world as we know it.
GCF Global,
Okay.
creating opportunities for a better life.
So basically a network is when you have two or more computers that are connected together. Okay, so this is the key note right here. And it really kind of took off in the 1980s with the personal computer. It's called a peer-to-peer network if you only have two computers. But if we have more than two, we call it a LAN. A LAN stands for local area network. Okay? And basically the definition is it is a small geographical area. For example, your school or home, a network in your school and home is considered a LAN. Now, if your network is bigger, for example, an entire city, we could not say that that is a LAN. We would say that this is a WAN. Okay? A WAN is a large geographical area. Okay? Basically, a network that could be multiple buildings together, and that would be considered WAN. Okay? So that goes into what is the internet? The internet is basically a WAN. Okay? And we have the infrastructure of the internet is web servers. Web servers are basically supercomputers or computers that are more powerful than your normal computer at home, where we can save data such as web pages. And web pages are stored as HTML. Yeah, it's okay, come in. I'm just reviewing for HTML. Okay? And a web page is basically a code of information using a code, and the code is HTML. And HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's just a coding language where we can upload to a hard drive on a web server. And so when I go to the web server, it accesses that code and then it displays the web page to my screen. For example, Google is on the Google web server, and the www stands for World Wide Web. That goes into what is the difference between internet and World Wide Web. If you say internet, you're referring to the infrastructure about the connection of the networks. It's the infrastructure, okay? When we talk about www, we're talking about the connection of websites, okay? Like the links. One is more hardware and one is more software. Here's the exam type problem where a company has a website. Users use the internet and the World Wide Web to access the website. Okay, those are two different things. Describe the difference between the internet and World Wide Web. Well, the internet is the infrastructure or the network of the computers. It's the physical connections. Whereas www is a collection of websites. Okay. So that's where we are right now. Cool. You ready? You want to see the question again? Web page. A web page, you don't need to copy. Basically, a web page is a code using HTML. Okay? A web page is basically software code where we can program what it looks like. We can put images on there, JPEG, PNG, anything like that. Okay? It's software. This is more software. All right. Let me know. Web server is a computer.
It's hardware.
Yeah, a web server is hardware. Okay, so let's continue on here. Now, the internet requires hardware. We need hardware plus software. Software to work, right? The internet, we have the WAN, the wide area networks, right? But we can't access, how do we display the data that transmits to my computer? We have a screen, right? And we need a program to display the website, okay? And that goes into what is web browser. Web browser is the software that enables me to visualize the code, okay? So web browsers are software that help me to display the websites on my screen, okay? So all you have to do is write, web browsers are software for me to view websites, okay? Web browser are software for viewing the web pages. Because again, they're in a language, okay? Now, what are some of the functions? Some of the functions, you know how the operating system we have, it can do some jobs. These are the functions of a web browser. You know Safari? On your Apple device, if you go onto the internet, have you seen this logo before, right here? Have you ever seen this there, Carol?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the internet, right? We don't, but it's not the internet. That's actually called a web browser. And a web browser has many functions. It has like a go home button. It has an address bar, full screen, we can close, and we have some settings. We have scroll, a whole bunch of things. But the main function of a web browser is to view web pages. That's the main one. What is some function? It's to view web pages. That's the main function of a web browser, is to view web pages. What are some other things he can do for me? He can also do bookmarks. Bookmarks is you can save a little link, and if I click, it will open up Google or Baidu. These are some links. We call this bookmarks. Bookmark. Bookmark is a link to a website. Okay? So, functions. It also has bookmarks. Do you read books? Yeah? Do you read books? If you want to pause your book, you put in a bookmark, right? It's a wager. It also records the history. If I go into settings, we have this thing called history. You know, I can actually see where you've been on the internet because your web browser saves that. So it also has the history. Okay? It will show me where I have been on the internet. It also has navigation tools. Navigation tools are right here, like address bar, minimize, browser tab, reload. These are called tools. It also has navigation. Like I can go up, down. This is called scroll bar. Navigation. I can scroll down the website, like scroll. I can go up, down on web page. This is the function of a web browser. We also have the address bar. Address bar is where you can 写那个网站, right? It has the address bar. Address bar. For typing in the URL. URL is the I have to double check that, but URL is the website. It also has tabs and things like that. Okay, so at least you should know about 4 of these. Okay, 4 functions of a web browser. Cool? Tell me one thing that a web browser does. Tell me one thing that he does.
Recall the history.
Yeah, record the history. Now there's one special thing that he also does, and that's called cookies. Do you know what a cookie is? We have this thing called internet cookie. Do you know what a cookie is? Bingan? Have you ever heard of Wang Lo the Bingan? No. Internet cookie, what is he? Every time I go into a website, he 保存 some information about me. And sometimes the hacker can know more about what I like if I go on Taobao. For example, I go on Taobao and then I want to buy something. They have a 小车. And then you can 放你的东西 into the 小车, right? And this is called shopping cart. And this is 保存 on Taobao.com, right? On Taobao, T-A-O. On Taobao.com, I can actually 保存 the items. This is called a cookie, where it will save some information, okay? And basically, there are 2 types of cookie, okay? There are 2 types of cookie. So can you write down what a cookie is? What is a cookie? Internet cookies save user data on the web browser. Okay? 是保存 some user data. It can be something that the website remembered. Like, what did you look at on the website? Or what were you shopping about? Okay? It can save your email, 名字, for example. It can save your name, your 密码, password, your shopping cart, shopping items, etc. Okay? And there's two type of cookie. We have 两个饼干. And so what you should do is, one is called session. Session cookies, it only save when the website, when the browser is open. Only save when open. When you 打开, but when you hit that little red button, it's going to remove the cookie. The 饼干 is 走了. But we have this other type of 饼干 that is always saved here. 举个例子, I share 我的密码. It will remember the login. Okay? And so you can actually change the settings to remember on your web browser. You can say, I want you to 保存 your 密码. For example, password. You can save it that it will, even when you close down the browser, he will still remember that. Okay? It can also do like your name and stuff like that. So tell me, what is a cookie? No. What is it in the computer? We don't, it's pusher 饼干. 饼干 pusher 饼干.
Save user data.
On where?
On the website.
Pusher website. 在哪里? This is not a website. This is called a, what is the name of this software? Pusher website. What is this?
Oh,
Web browser is used for going to other website. The website doesn't save it. They may save some, okay? But cookies are saved by your web browser there. Sometimes they do sell it. Okay. You can come up here. One function of web browser is to provide an address bar and a URL. I want you to write 3 other function of web browser. Okay? So just like a normal culture, this I took it from a previous test. What does web browser do? 有很多就是你这写3个。Let me get some water. Wait, let me have a look. We'll see if we got it right. Okay, bookmarks is 1, yes. Record the history and view web pages. Good. Okay, it's like a, okay, very good.
Okay, from the web browser.
You want to see the web browser? Okay.
I think it's
This one?
Pool of up.
So a cookie is a small piece of data. It just 保存.
让一下，我要记一下可以。
Pardon me?
Just
Right? Internet cookie is basically a small piece of data that's saved, and it can track some data. For example, your name, password, shopping items. And there's two types of cookies. One is persistent, and one is session. Session just means it's going to save the data when the web browser is open, and the persistent one is even when you close it, it will still be saved. Okay, that's it. So what I want you to do, can you open up your laptop? I want you to work on 0.7, is that right? While loops? Is that correct? I think it's 0.7. And when you finish that, today is 3.1 schoolwork. Okay? So the schoolwork, if we go here, we have networking. You can see right here, it says, explain what is network. Agree? We know what network is. I want you to do questions 1, 2, list 4 functions of web browser, explain what is cookie. Okay? I want you to do questions 1 to 4. Do question 1 to 4, 3.1. Okay? So you have 2 homework. This will be due next week. Next, okay? And the other homework, this is also for UNA if you're listening online, is Unit 0. And you want to scroll up to 0.7 while loops, okay? Make sure 0.7, okay? And put it into your homework folder. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. Okay.